The fact that the world is not designed for me makes life difficult. And that's why technology really matters, because it breaks down those barriers. I can't use my eyes, I don't see. But the degree to which that impacts on my ability to carry out daily tasks is often determined by new technological developments which allow me to, in a sense, work around that impairment.
Being a quadriplegic, I've got some motor function, but, I'm very limited. Technology these days is huge, how it allows me and other people with disabilities to function at home or in the workplace.
The internet has given me freedom to communicate with everyone, and it's something I can do myself. I love it. I use the internet for emailing, downloading books, TV shows and music, Facebook and sharing photos, submitting assignments, planning holidays and researching assistive technology. Of course, there is always times where it is down.
So we're on broadband, but it's quick, but it's not quick enough. And I know with high-speed broadband, it would change people's lives, people with all sorts of disabilities.
So high-speed internet is really growing, which means technology and new ideas, that will grow as well.
Especially if we can get it out to those remote areas where they can't get in to see certain specialists. They can sit at home and have a setup with high-speed broadband and retrieve what they need.
I wish that I could have a microchip for somebody that's never learnt sign language before. That way I can implant it in them and they'd know automatically how to use sign language. I used Adobe Connect with Skype for the lectures.
Our lesson objectives, we want to be able to design a copy.
Skype's not very easy because if I'm signing with another person on the other side that's hearing, it doesn't really work very well. I need an interpreter present. Well, to get an interpreter is not always easy because it depends on the availability of the interpreters. There's a lot of deaf people that live in the area, so I can't get an interpreter at short notice. I always have to accept, that's part of my life and I have to try and find a way around it.
So for one example, remote interpreting, that'll be available with high-speed broadband, which means the interpreter doesn't have to be in the same location. It can be a different building, different room. They don't have to be right next to me.
I think that working remotely has a lot of advantages for people with disability. And so if technology like high-speed broadband enables us to take advantage of those benefits, then I'm all for it. It gives me greater independence. I believe it gives me greater efficiency. And it's sometimes just more comfortable. You set up the environment the way you like it and you work that way.
There's been times where I might have a situation at home with myself where I have to stay at home. And the thing is, I can work remotely. The system that I've got at work, I've set up the same system at home.
I believe that high-speed broadband will make people with disabilities employment more effective because they'll have more opportunities to do things that they can't do currently. Perhaps it might be a problem with communication or an access problem.
I use screen reading software for all of my computer-based tasks. What is appearing on your screen visually is translated, if you like, into a speech synthesizer, so a synthetic voice, and or sent to a braille display. So with high-speed broadband, we could potentially access a different voice or a different screen reader online. What's on my calendar for today?
You had an appointment at 11:30 a.m.
When we're talking about voice activation, that's when we're using our voice as opposed to the keyboard to give a command to the computer.
I can say, open up Internet Explorer. And just open up the Explorer, open Start Bar, and then I can say subcontractors, and then it might say concreters. I've got no dexterity in my fingers at all. So just to be able to flick and manipulate the iPad is huge, because I can scroll through the drawings that are marked up and have them up on the screen and zoom in and flick them around and manipulate them.
I think they are going to keep bringing out these new things everywhere in the future. I would like to think the things which may be introduced as endless. I guess it will make communication with businesses quicker, and peoples with disability could be interviewed by video conferences.
In the future, with high-speed broadband, with video conferencing, what will be involved? Real-time captioning. And that'll be great for people, for education, for health, for social, for employment. Real-time captioning will become available in TV, movies, and also radio. This advancement in technology will just open up a new world for me. Access to all this information, yeah, it'll be fantastic.
One of the things I really look forward to checking out with, it's available currently, but I hope high-speed broadband will make it much more available, is the opportunity to find a movie online which is audio described, go to the movies with your smartphone, sit in the movie and have the audio described movie available to me through a headset while my friends and peers and colleagues are watching it at the same time. That's something I sort of can't even hope to imagine, but it would be incredible.
Before the accident, I used to play guitar, mainly electric. It's always been something that's been able to pull me out of that dark place. Really, my main escape is when I can just kick back and just put the music on and just let that seep through, you know.
I feel like a ride in the city with you here.
But I think that all of us deserve equality. I think people just need to be more aware and feel that everyone has sensitivities and everyone should be equal. And if people ignore it or ignore people with a disability and just look about what you can't do, they should really focus on what you can do and try and remove those barriers and have a more open mind.
As technology continues to improve, it really does have the potential to challenge a lot of our perceptions about disability and what's mainstream. Yeah, when something that you couldn't do yesterday, you can do today for yourself. That's an incredible thrill.